guys, I'm Santina Murin for Born to Vibe, and I'm here in New York at Afterglow Yoga Studio with singer-songwriter, yoga musician Kevin Paris.
What's happening, you
What's
guys?
up? Hug dealer as
Yes,
well. Hug
gotta
dealer,
be,
I can
gotta be.
confirm. I can
Yes.
confirm, gives great hugs. That's awesome. How are you?
So well, yeah, super stoked.
Good.
Yeah, got to see, I have some family here, so got to see family, which is always really nice when you're on tour. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Got two birds stoned at once, right?
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This is really exciting. This will be my first time doing yoga and having live music as well, so I really can't think of anything better.
Amazing.
I'm so excited.
I hope I don't fuck it up for you.
Oh, no. No. So tell me a little bit about your journey and how the two worlds of music and yoga sort of married together and made this beautiful blend of your life.
Sure. So, yeah, I was honestly very fortunate to have the two merge because
Right.
I was at a place in my life where I wasn't super content playing music in like smaller clubs and bars and things like that.
Right. So the music did come first.
Music came
Okay.
first. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just kind of at this cross point where I was tired of playing, super late night shows where it wasn't super fulfilling. And at the time, I'm from Milwaukee originally, and just wasn't really happy with it. And then a friend of mine took me to yoga with her, and I loved the playlist, really enjoyed the practice. And I went back again the following week, and I realized, one, not just how much the practice had an effect on me, but how
Right.
much music influenced my experience of the class. And so I happen to know how to play a lot of the songs on the
Okay.
playlist.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Was your vibe sort of similar to the yoga feel before getting into that, or did the yoga really influence that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's definitely both. I mean, yoga influences everything. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But musically, I've always, like, when I started playing for classes, it was mostly, minus like a few different people, it was mostly bhakti yogis that were playing music, which tended to be more traditional. And that, I'm from Milwaukee, I'm not from India, and I grew up, like, my favorite musicians growing up were like Ben Harper, Bob Marley, Jack Johnson, more like acoustic singer-songwriter,
Yes.
folk, reggae music. And I was like, hey, well, let's try this. And yeah, so it kind of brought that to the yoga sphere, and yoga definitely influenced, again, everything.
I love it. Well, in 2018, you put out an album, Say Love, and it wasn't just you. You did it with Casey Kalmanson.
You got it.
I didn't want to mispronounce
Now
her
you
name.
got it. You nailed it.
How did co-writing and co-recording an album compare to putting one out that's all you?
For sure. I love that question, especially in a yoga setting, because we met actually at a yoga studio in Maui.
Okay.
And I'd been calling in. I wanted to do a duet album for 9 years.
Wow.
And just hadn't found the person that I really wanted to do it with. And it was actually where I'd done my yoga teacher training in Maui. I was playing for a class, and after class, the teacher who I did my teacher training with, Nadia Torman, she was like, hey, you have to meet my girl Casey. She also lives in LA. She's a singer-songwriter, producer, loves yoga,
Perfect.
loves surfing,
Yeah.
loves music. And so she linked us up, and songwriting's kind of like you have to have a first date,
Yeah.
like, you don't know. It's like with anything in life, if you're going to do business with somebody or
Right.
like become friends with somebody or form a relationship with somebody, like, you're going to sit down and see if you vibe or not. And quick story, because it's a good one. We went to her place in Maui and sat down, and the first song that like when you have a songwriting session, you bring some different ideas to the table.
Right.
And I said, here's one idea. I'd been working on it for 3 years and just hadn't been able to finish it. It's a song called Hold Space. It's on the album.
Oh, I love that one. Release
Thank you.
Them is my first favorite, but Hold Space is my second.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Well, makes the story even more applicable.
Yes.
So we sat down to write it, and this song that I hadn't been able to finish in 3 years, we wrote the whole thing in 45 minutes.
I love that. I love stories like that so much.
Yeah.
And it really is just a new perspective, because sometimes when you're so close to something, or you have just that mindset of, I haven't been able to finish this, it kind of brings that to the table, and getting some fresh eyes or fresh ideas. That's so beautiful. The
Truth.
album is incredible, and you guys really like complement each other very well.
Thank you.
I love it.
In life as well. Thank you.
Aw. So you're living in LA now, and like you said, from Milwaukee, and not always born and raised in LA, and also spent some time in Brazil and Africa. So how does the transition sort of happen, and being in such a major city and kind of adjusting to that life coming from not LA?
I personally love it. I mean, LA has a bad reputation in a lot of spheres, but I always compare it to the news. It's like, on the news, all you hear about is the bad stuff.
Right, of course.
You know, and for me, it's a city of dreamers. It's a city where people come from all over the world to pursue their passion. Same as, like, you know, New York City, or DC for politics, Nashville for songwriting. It's like, obviously you have a ton of locals, and you have a ton of people who move there from all around the world. And so for me, it was super inspiring coming from from smaller place. And also, it wasn't too big of a transition for me, fortunately, because I come from a family who's lived all around the world, and
that's beautiful.
So it's kind of in my genetic code.
I guess more just to sort of stay humble and focused in that. You said it's still inspiring too. Do you ever feel like, you know, the negativity of LA in any way, and just kind of like getting around some of those people and having to go back to your roots a little bit?
It's funny, you know, it's there. Obviously, it's there.
Yeah. I spent about 5 months in LA, so that's just sort of why I'm asking, because I had a little bit of both, and it was a little difficult to maneuver through the fluff. For sure.
And I think it is harder as a female, because of the industries that are in LA.
Yeah.
But that said, honestly, it's not even part of my existence.
I love that.
Like, it's
'cause you just are
only
so who you
good. It's only positive.
That's
and
awesome.
My friends are the most amazing, inspiring people in the entire universe. And the other thing that I'll say is, like, it is a city in the same way. It's like any big city, honestly takes over a year, I think.
I completely
before you find
agree.
your
I have
your
nothing
thing,
against. I'm actually going back next month. I just like
Hey.
to see the perspective, because a lot of people have, whether it's really good or really bad, a lot of people have opinions on the city.
For sure.
So I just sort of wanted to see
For sure.
what you were feeling.
Everything you want to find is there.
Yeah, it really is. It has everything.
Yeah.
I saw on Instagram that you posted a picture with Alex Woodrow from our last night.
My
So
boy.
I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the picture and I saw that you said you had new music coming, I was a little bit taken aback, because I've been following the band for years, and I know they can get super heavy, you know, they can get heavy. So I was like, wait, does he make, like, what are we about to get? And like, I've known the band for a while, but I've never really looked into them individually. I don't know their personal,
For sure.
you know. So then I went to him, and I'm like, okay, he's really into yoga, and he has a plant-based diet and this kind of stuff. I'm like, I can see the connection there.
Fully.
But I'm like, are we about to get some yogi, like, screamo song, or like, or what's the vibe?
Yeah, the vibe of that is, man, first of all, there's so much love in it. I love Woody to the core.
Yeah.
He's one of my best friends, and we really, I think, complement each other well, because he comes from, you know, a metal background, and my background's more like chill acoustic vibe.
Right.
More major, he's more minor, so we bring a lot to the table, and really, like, our ideas really bring a lot of synergy. But the project itself is really going to be super uplifting. He's very much into hip hop and reggae, which are like my cores, especially for
I was
like
gonna
bass.
ask about that too.
Yeah, so we're gonna throw in a lot of that, especially with one of our other dear friends, Sunny, and yeah, so it's going to be feel good music with inspiring, uplifting lyrics that also has some edge and some grit for sure. And
that's great. And honestly,
real.
I love musicians, and they can be so versatile and do, more genres than just one. And I love how you don't allow yourself to be put into a box.
Thank you.
Because so many artists honestly are afraid to adventure out and like what their fans are going to think. And I personally feel like if you're a fan of somebody, you're going to allow them to be an artist. And being an artist means allowing them to put in what they love, because essentially what you do is your craft. This is your therapy, your art, and it's a bonus that people can like it and appreciate it.
You guys heard it here.
So
speaking the truth.
Let these musicians do what they are called to do, and if that particular project or album or song doesn't please you, then listen to something else. There's so much music.
Real talk.
And maybe the next one they'll like.
Totally.
So
yeah,
I'm
thank
really
you for that.
excited
It's so important, and I have to catch myself in that. Ben Harper's a great example. Like, I love his earlier stuff so hard, but I'm so proud of him for like putting out all these records that are totally just him following his, what he, like his muse and what he wants to put out. And fortunately now we're in a time where record labels aren't necessary.
Right.
And so I'm able to put out this music. Like, I have a lot of friends in bands that are signed to labels, and like they can't get their stuff released.
Yeah, they don't have any
it's
creative
amazing
freedom.
Music, but like no freedom, and we're multifaceted beings. Like, what if somebody told us you can only eat this for the rest of your contract for 5 years? Like, you can only eat.
You're only going to want everything else. Even if you don't like it, you're going to be like, ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I saw that you posted that you said you made a promise when you got into the music industry that you'd always stay independent.
Truth.
Is that it's still going strong? Like, do you feel like you'll rock that?
Absolutely. I mean, if, in the small chance that there were a label that I still felt independent.
Yeah.
But I had the synergy of the distribution and resources, and I'd consider it. But independence is the way to go now. It's the best time ever for any musician or any small business to do our thing.
Yeah. And you made a comment that you'd already sort of started on a project in the hip hop and the reggae field. You were in Jamaica.
Yes, just got back.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So any like plans for release, or even with the song with Alex and Sunny, you said, or is this just starting and in the works? Yeah,
so we don't have dates yet, but the projects with Sunny and Woody will start in late spring.
Okay.
We'll start unfolding, and we have 2 songs that are done right now, and then we're just going to write a bunch. But we started writing our first song together about right before I left for this last tour, the night before I left, actually.
Wow.
And
that's right when the inspiration comes, and you're supposed to be packing or whatever. It's like, gotta write a song really quick.
Exactly. Set it all aside. So yeah, that's all coming, and then no real timelines on the full albums, but
cool. Well, you just released one anyway.
That's true.
So.
A couple months ago.
Yeah. So no rush. But I mean, we're in March, so we're still pretty fresh into the new year, and I know I'm sure these new projects and everything, but is there any 2019 goals that you have?
Ooh.
Resolutions?
I mean, I have a lot of goals and a lot of resolutions. So musically, one of my main goals is just really to hone in on the collaborative spirit.
Okay.
Which, first and foremost is with my bandmate, Casey. And then also just with some of my dear friends, because the level of talent amongst our friends is out of control. And it's a level of love and goodness that, like, when we all get together, if we're able to create something that can be shared,
right,
that's like where my number one is. So obviously that includes the project with Casey, and then with Woody and Sunny
Beyond.
And multiple other people. So yeah, so that's that big goal. And yeah, man, I mean, so many goals. Depends on which aspect of my life.
Well, what's this cold
water
thing
thing? Okay, yeah. So that is
that's
more
like
of a
challenge.
practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Some sort of challenge.
Yeah. For those of you guys interested, I'm currently studying and practicing Wim Hof method. WIM space HOF. And he is just an amazing individual who I really love and respect as somebody who's like in yoga studios and all of this every day, which can be very ethereal and like although I believe in a lot of it and in my own experience is scientific, Wim Hof is a huge advocate for science, which I really love. And the two main things are cold exposure and breath work. And yeah, I'm all about it. So I like this whole tour, get in lakes and streams and oceans that are, in the 30-degree temps, and sometimes just shatter through some ice to get in the cold water. And daily breath work. So yeah, you can check out more of his stuff if you feel inclined. But he's really a pretty amazing individual who really is advocating for health and happiness and strength and us being
all the things that we need.
All the things we need, living up to our fullest potential, you know? Yeah.
And just lastly, what is something that you feel like the world needs a little bit more of, and how do you feel your art is contributing to bringing it?
I mean, love is the obvious thing. Music, those are my two paired together. Man, there's so many good ones. I think also one of the really, 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 really big ones is connection to food. Because if we had more connection to our food and our food systems, what we eat, how we eat, food is the one I call it like the big domino. And if I weren't playing music, this is what I'd be doing. Like this is largely what I studied in school. But if you shift our food system, you're able to shift everything that touches. So everything from healthcare, like obesity to like diabetes, everything that comes with food sicknesses. Shift that, you shift the environment more than anything else. Shift how animals are treated, shift how the planet's treated, how the soils are treated, how our farmers are treated. And so it's one thing that if you shift that, won't have a global starving population, won't have so many people living in poverty, won't have so many impoverished people who are malnourished, and just things that are absolutely unjust. So
I love it. Thank you so much. I love your mind.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Thank you
so
for having
excited.
me on. Thank you guys for hanging out. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Wish you were in class tonight.
Me too. We're about to go do some yoga and listen to some music with Kevin Paris, guys. I'm Santina Murin for Born to Vibe. Thanks.
Bless.
Oh, thank you so much. That was awesome.
For you to blow.